The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mark Hurt, Senior Software Consultant with Mirabel Technologies. Wanted to welcome you guys to our webinar today. We do apologize. We haven't had a webinar in a little while because we've been so busy testing and speccing out and releasing some great new features for you guys. So today we wanted to get back together, bring all of our accounting team and hopefully some publishers and sales team members are on the call today. We're going to be exploring primarily the new accounts receivable features, where we're going to look at the new invoice creation screen. There's a new receipt payment screen where you can automatically email out to the payee an email of the transaction, of the credit card transaction, instead of having to take a picture of the screen like we've done before. We're going to look at digital tear sheets and the new customer payment portal. For those of you who are leveraging the self-pay link on our invoices, we're going to be transitioning everyone from that older technology on the self-pay links to the new customer-facing portal. We're going to look at that today, the portal today, and then we'll mention a little bit about the app, the new app that we have for the Android and iOS operating systems for the smartphones. So just want to remind everyone with our webinars that these are being recorded. So you're going to be able to go back into our help site, into our webinar and other recording video history archives and rewatch this or any other upcoming webinar in the future should you need to do so. Karen, who's on my consulting team here as well here at Mirabel, she will be manning the question and answer desk. So if you have any questions, keep in mind that in your GoToWebinar interface, there's a place for you to type in a question and have the questions answered real time during the webinar. Now, please keep your questions, if you could please keep them specific to the targeted topics that we're covering today. If we have some time toward the end of the call, you guys will have the ability to raise your hand, and I will, if we have time, I'll be taking live questions and answers toward the end of the webinar today. So just wanted to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy day today, joining us to learn together some new features for accounts receivable and newspaper and magazine manager. Just keep in mind, and I always like to remind everybody, in the upper left-hand section, our actions panel here at the site level, we do have a help button here is where you're going to go to find help. Now, we had a recent facelift on our help interface. So this is our new help site, and right here in the middle are our Learning Center videos. We have hundreds of videos that are very topic specific over some of our new features that came out in 2017 and 18 with the e-signature, opportunity sales pipeline management. Here's a great video on the app for both Android and iOS. It's about a 12-minute video. You want to be sure and check that out and download the app on your smartphones. And then for the accounting team, the sales team, we have all kind of videos in here for your help anytime you need these, okay? So wanted to remind you that that is available there in the help section in the site-wide actions panel in the upper left here. Let's go ahead and get into accounts receivable. So those of you who are already billing in Magazine Manager, you have already gone through the site setup, and you've already gone through and set up your invoice templates, okay? So if you're already invoicing through us, you already have these invoice templates already set up. With the new features and the new functionality that we've just released, you're not going to have to make any changes to your existing invoices. However, you will want to create what we're calling a billing email, because now instead of invoices being emailed to your advertisers and the invoice be in the body of the email, we now have the ability, and I'm going to show you how to be sending out these invoices as a hyperlinked PDF and a cover letter, if you will, or a cover billing letter. So to manage that, you do not have to be an administrator. Any admin staff member can do this. You'll want to come to your communications menu and come down to letters. Now, we've added 2 letters to everybody's site: generic billing email without the self-pay options, and then there's a generic billing letter with self-pay options. Depending if you're allowing your clients to pay online or not, you will want to go into the letter. So let's click the letter hyperlink in order to edit the letter. You will want to press the edit button in the upper area here to edit the letter, and you'll need to first go ahead and replace these 2 hyperlinks, the link to the PDF and the link to the digital tear sheet. Now with these billing letters, I will encourage you, even if you're not planning to utilize the digital tear sheet yet, even if your Digital Studio users, your production team, if they're not here in Digital Studio, and if they're not using the pagination flat planning tool to lay out the issue and to then upload the finished pages into Digital Studio, which these are the two things you need to happen in order to leverage the digital tear sheet solution. Whether you're doing it or not, go ahead and put the digital tear sheet link here in the letter, because this is a dynamic link. If you have all the pieces in place in order to send along the digital tear sheet to that advertiser, this link will appear. But if you're sending out to an advertiser and the production side of things aren't done yet with the mapped insertion on the flat plan and that uploaded PDF asset on the flat plan, if those are not there yet, then this link won't even appear. So go ahead and add it. So I'm going to go ahead and replace my first link, my PDF link, because we left it on the generic letter just to show you kind of where it goes and what it will look like. But you want to highlight and delete it. And then you want to go to the client fields here, these merge fields, and put in your customer invoice PDF link here. And so from this, then you want to update the text that's right between the text colon and this percent sign. This is the text that's going to be readable as a readable hyperlinkable text. So you might say something like, click here to download a PDF of your invoice. Okay, plain and simple, fair enough, easy enough. Do the same thing here with the digital tear sheet one. And then you want to come in here and make this all read what you want it to read as it's coming from you, the publisher, and whatever instructions or whatever other information you want to go out with the billing email now instead of the invoice, the email invoice in the body of the invoice. So once you're done with all the changes to the letter, you'll want to save your changes. Now, I've already got a copy of the letter we're going to be using here for our demonstration today, and mine is the publisher billing email template. So step number one, go ahead and get that billing letter email template all in place so we can send out the PDFs and send out the digital tear sheets. Now, along with this new feature, I want to introduce another thing that's very significant to our accounting department. Remember that rep that comes to you and says, hey, you know, now billing Bob, he's going to get the invoice, but man, they really wish we could be emailing these invoices. We'd love to email the invoices to these 3 other people. Well, along with this new solution that we have with the whole new accounts receivables part of the system, in the billing and financial section of any company record, in here now, your sales team member, your account manager, can manage this account and include additional alternate email addresses, up to 3 different email addresses per account. So no matter who is selected out of all of your contacts, we have Mr. Phil Colson, who is the primary contact, 3 other contacts. No matter what contact is selected for the billing contact for this invoice, you can say, oh yes, and also include these up to 3 other people. You can include up to 3 other people, comma separated in here. Now we are going to do some data validation here, and we're going to be looking for 3 email addresses, comma separated. And we're looking for something at something dot something. Now we can't tell if what you're entering is a legitimate email address or not, but we're going to be able to tell if it's a legitimate email formatted piece of data here, comma separated in this field. So once you get these other 3 email addresses with your new invoice search and send page, you will have an option, I'm going to show you here in a minute, where to also include alternate billing email addresses. So there we go. Any invoice can now be emailed up to 4 different people per company. The single selected contact, the billing contact, whoever it is on the company record, plus anybody else here in the alternate emails. So that has been so far for my customers and the other consultants' customers who have used this. This has been such a lifesaver, because you guys, I promise you right now, there's some Google spreadsheet or shared document somewhere else with the list of everybody else that you've got to go in and manually be sure to not forget to send the invoice to. This solution is going to take the responsibility off the accounting department, and it's going to put it right back to the sales account executive who is responsible for this account, and simply populating this information. Sales department's job is now much easier and much more efficient. Okay, so we are creating our billing letter in order to wrap around our invoice so we can send our invoices out with PDF hyperlinks, as well as the digital studio tear sheets and the digital tear sheets. So now it comes time to create invoices. Before you can do this, I'm going to tell all of you, if you've not worked directly with Mary Kate, Dennis, or myself, or anybody else on our team in replacing and updating customers' accounts receivable and updating the create invoices and search invoice pages, if we've not worked with you directly, we will have to do so in order for you to leverage anything we're talking about today. This is not something that we've kind of just pushed out across all sites and threw it out there and said good luck. There is a little bit of hand holding through this, and there's some considerations for your gateway if you're authorized.net or Plug and Pay or Card Connect. There are some special other setup things that we just felt it would be best if we roll this out individually, kind of hand holding. So these pieces that I'm about to show you will have to be put in place first in order for you to be able to leverage everything we're talking about today. The old pages will not allow you to do so. So with the new pages, there are new create invoice page, there's a new search invoice page, and there's also a new receive payment page. We're going to go over all of those. But let's go ahead and create invoices like we normally do in Magazine Manager, Newspaper Manager, like we do every month. We're going to go to the create invoice page. It is a different page, but if you'll notice, it's very similar to the old page. You can still filter by product details, by business units, individual products, special sections. You can also filter by customer details, certain contact groups, things like that. For our demonstration today, I want to invoice everything for Hertz School of Excellence. So here is my advertising account, Hertz School of Excellence, and I'm invoicing, I'm actually invoicing here August. So I want to pull everything from August into the invoice. So I've searched for all my items in August. Remember, don't forget to look for this actions panel here. We've got a little, what a lot of people call the hamburger icon here in the upper left-hand corner, but this is our actions panel, the actions we're going to take on the items selected. All right, so we've got 2 selected items. We're going to invoice selected items. Now, this is the different part. If you guys remember invoicing before the new pages in Magazine Manager, remember the first thing was you had to select the invoice template as soon as you started. And then before you said invoice everything, you used to have to set your invoice date and your due dates down here at the bottom of the screen. Well, now all of this is done on the back end of the process. Let's find all the line items to be invoiced and then go over here to invoice selected line items. And in here, we can pick our template, our Organic Delights template maybe, and our invoice date today with our due date here. And we're going to consolidate invoices, meaning for the same billing context, same advertiser, let's put multiple line items on an invoice versus non-consolidated invoices. These will be separate invoices per separate line items. So let's go ahead and select all line items. Now look at this button here, invoice all items. If your search list of items to invoice resulted in multiple pages of 50 down here, you don't have to go to page 1 and then do this select all page 1, page 2, select all page 3, select all. This button inside of here, invoice all items, will select all on all pages if you have multiple pages. All right, so keep that in mind here. Now we're simply going to submit our line items for invoice creation. Now in the past, the invoice creation process used to hijack your browser, if you will. You had to sit here and you had to wait for the invoice process to finish before you could do anything else. And for some of our customers who are invoicing thousands upon thousands of line items every month, this used to tie up their machine for 10, 15 minutes at a time. Well, we've now begun processing invoices what we call asynchronously. That means that the invoice creation is going on behind the scenes on the server while freeing up your machine to do the rest of your work while the invoices are being created behind the scenes. So this info box is telling you these are being created behind the scenes. You're going to get an inbox notification once all the invoice jobs for reference ID number 12, invoice job number 12 is complete. Okay, you're not going to get that result screen anymore. Remember, it used to pop up a big screen here, all the invoices just created, and then from there you were able to print, email, print to PDF, etc. Okay, that's not going to pop up automatically anymore. Press OK here. What you're going to do now is you're going to go to the inbox notification and we're going to refresh our inbox notification, and here is my notification that my invoice job number 12 is now completed. All right, so I'm gonna click in here. Okay, there's number 10. Is this one number 12? Here's number 12. All right, so here's the one that I just finished, number 12. So this will still give you a subset of invoices that you just created so that you can blast these things out right away. Okay, so what this did is this brought up all the invoices for job number 12, which happened to be one consolidated invoice with 2 line items. All right, so my invoices are here, they're good, they're ready to go. But a lot of times people don't send invoices right away. So let's kind of take a little lunch break. We're going to go down the street, have a little sushi, come back, sit down at my desk, and I'm going to log back into Magazine Manager because I've got a few more invoices to do, but I want to send out all my invoices at one time. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's our webinar for today. Okay, so now it's time to send all the invoices with this whole new functionality of sending invoices. Customers, accounts receivable. Remember, we search for in order to send invoices. So let's go search for invoices. And I want all those invoices that I just had. And I'm just going to pull open the magazine. No, it wasn't that. It was Hertz School of Excellence. So Hertz School of Excellence. I want all my invoices to be returned. And of course, this is the new invoice search screen that you must use in order to leverage the new features. But if you notice, it looks very much like the old screen, almost exactly like the old one. Okay, search the invoices here. And here are all the invoices that I have in place, but this is the one I just created today with all of the new digital tier sheets and all that wonderful stuff there, right? So this is the one I'm going to send out. I'm going to email out to my advertiser. So I select the invoice of a focus, and I go up here to my actions panel, and I come in here and I want to email the invoice. Very similar to the other page, but a lot of different functionality and logic behind the scenes. I'm going to email out this invoice and my subject line. Now you're setting up the invoice email that you're about to send out. So what do you want your subject line to be? You could say your August 2018 advertising invoice. Okay, so here's my advertising invoice from I don't know, Billing Bob, how about that? Billing Bob at here.now. Whoever you want the email to come from, so that when they reply back and say, hey, I've got a credit card, let's go ahead, it's going to come back to the right person. So you set the from email. Now, always email with payments, because remember our 4-step invoicing cycle. Step 1, create all invoices. Step 2, batch apply prepayment. Step 3, batch bill the credit cards you have stored on file. Step number 4, send invoices with payment information. So you should always be sending with payment information. Now, if you want to do the old way and you want to put that invoice body in the body of the email like we used to do it, you can certainly leave this here. We built the ability for some of you who wanted to keep doing it the other way, you can keep doing it the other way. But for everybody else who wants to do it the new way with digital tear sheets and the PDF, we're going to actually use this option here. We're going to select our letter category. This is our billing letter. So we set up our letter up here in communications, remember, in the billing letter category. And this is my publisher billing email template. And if I forgot what the template looked like at any point, you can always preview that template and see, yep, this is the template I was meaning to use, looks good. And then this is the option here, right here, guys, right here. When you check off this button, this is going to pick up all of those additional email addresses that your account executive set up on the company record. So they put in the details, all you do is check the box to use those details. So you get to throw away that side spreadsheet that you used to keep for making sure the invoice goes here and here and here. They did it, your team did it for you on their side of the world in their business, and you're taking advantage of it here, okay? So just to recap, we have already put together a billing letter that will include a dynamic hyperlink for a digital tear sheet if my production department's using Digital Studio like they should. If you guys remember, we always have that philosophy, and I always tell all of my clients this, and Mary Kate and Dennis perhaps do so as well, but I always tell everybody, as long as each department is doing their part of their job in our software, in our enterprise software, the way we train you to do it, the way it should be done, then you create these transparencies and these efficiencies for everybody else. by production using Digital Studio to lay out the flat plan and map out the magazine here, looking at, you know, everything on here, then they're doing this somewhere anyway. If publishers, if you're on the phone right now, I tell you right now, your production team, or you guys, your editorial team, you're sitting down somewhere mapping out what editorial, what ads go on what page. Let me strongly encourage you to encourage those team members to utilize Digital Studio. It already comes with your package. You don't have to pay anything more for it. It's already paid for. Come in, do this. By them doing this, they create transparencies for accounting and for sales and efficiencies that we're going over today. So they have to do this in order for everybody else to do everything else we're doing today. So we've got our email going. We've got everything ready to go. Let us go ahead and email all the invoices out with our new way of doing it. So your request is being processed. Click here to check the status. Remember, if you print, email, or print to PDF any invoices, we create an invoice job. Okay, under customers, accounts receivable, we have an AR job search. So you can tell if anybody's printing to PDF, or emailing out anything out of the system, because we're going to create a job log for you. And look at that. I just did this email, the job log. If you click the log hyperlink, we're going to pull open everybody that was in this job and everyone that had an email successfully emailed. And you want to pay attention to your exceptions, because if your sales team members aren't quite doing their due diligence enough yet and haven't put in the email addresses for your billing contacts, those are going to be on the exceptions list. That those invoices did not get deleted for the exception reason, likely because it's a missing email address. So keep that in mind. Now, all right, here's kind of the good part. I'm opening up my email. This is my work email, and I was the billing contact for one of these. I just received an email from my advertising company that I'm doing advertising with, and here is it from Billing Bob, right? Billing Bob emailed out everybody. This is the email as an advertiser that I just received. What did I get? Now, this is normal for Outlook. A lot of people to have automatic download of pictures disabled, so they can either send the sender to save list, or they can download the pictures, and then here's going to be a picture of that graphic in the email. All right, then here, Mark attaches your advertising invoice. Feel free, should you have any questions, let me know. Click here to download a copy of the invoice. Click here. There we go. I was a little, I knew I had a graphic on there. Okay. Click here to download a copy of your invoice. That invoice is no longer in the body of the email. Click here to see a digital tear sheet. So let's click here to get my invoice. I'm clicking, and like any other email, when I click an email and download a PDF, it downloaded, it opened it in Adobe PDF. Voila, here's your invoice now, delivered as an attached PDF, no longer in the body of the email. I've been here, guys, 6.5 years, and from the beginning, people have been asking for this from the beginning. It is here now. And why was it so important? And for those of you who may not have understand why it is, because the body of the email is an editable body. They could have simply forwarded their email, and here in the body of the email was their invoice. They could have changed numbers. It's not a read-only picture. So there was a bit of security and legal issue, because I have heard of some advertisers changing that original email text and changing that. Now, no more. You have a PDF. So a PDF is a read-only most of the time, unless they have sophisticated tools. But most PDFs are read-only documents, so there's no way to change it. Now, clicking here to see their digital tear sheet. No more stuffing envelopes. If you're spending money on stamps and on paper and getting extra pages copied so you guys can stuff envelopes, today is the day you get to stop. Today's the day you get to be more profitable, because you get to start doing things electronically and digitally. Now, I understand for the ad agencies, they're sticklers. They're still going to kind of put your feet to the fire and make you still stuff an envelope. But eventually, over a few billing cycles, you're going to have fewer and fewer people who are going to, I must have this in a printed envelope, because they're going to see this anyway, and they're going to get this anyway, and they're going to be like, this is okay. I can actually accept this. Here's my digital tear sheet. Here's the PDF of my full page ad for my orange flavored soothing massage herbal tangerine oil. Okay, so there we go. That's my full page ad. delivered as a digital tear sheet. Now listen guys, you need to prepare. Everything is all about setting expectations. So, and when you're talking, your sales executives are talking to the advertisers, you're having a B2B conversation. And when you say, hey, dear advertiser, we're trying to keep your advertising dollars down. We don't want to increase your advertising costs. So help us help you. Agree to start accepting our invoices and our digital tear sheets through the email electronically because, hey, we want to be eco-friendly. We're saving some trees, saving the earth, and saving some money. By doing this and by agreeing to this, and initially you're going to get some pushback. People are going to be less, we are all human beings. We're routinized animals. We like routine. We don't like change. We can't help it. It's part of our biology. But over time, if you just email out everybody, 100% email everybody, get them used to getting these emails. And then for those, those who are holding out and are reluctant adopters, if you will, go ahead and continue to print those and stuff those envelopes. But each month they get this and they can see how just normal this is. Then they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? We don't, go ahead and take us off the print. We don't need the print anymore. The digital's got to be perfectly fine. Okay. Now, the last piece of this is that whole self-pay thing. All right, let's talk about self-pay opportunities. The only way that you can hook up a self-pay and have your advertisers be able to make their payments to their invoices in Magazine or Newspaper Manager is you have to have your credit card company hooked up through one of our gateways, hooked up to our software. Originally, we had Plug and Pay. Plug and Pay was the third party in between your credit card company that you always have, and we're not going to ask you to change that, but you're going to stick with your credit card company through our gateway into our software. So when you have that set up, then you can include self-pay options. So here's my invoice, here's my digital tear sheet. Oh, I can click here to pay my outstanding invoice. I'm going to click here and I'm going to be taken to this screen. Now let's talk about this a second. For those of you who are used to the single click, boom, here I click, put my invoice number in, here's my customer number, I'm all set, I put in my credit card, I'm done. Okay, that's very, compared to what we can do today, that's kind of unsecure. All right, if you think about, pick up, look at your smartphone, right? If you're not already looking at it right now, look at your smartphone and think about, like I have AT&T, and sometimes my son kills our data. And sometimes I've got to log into my account and turn my son's data off. Or sometimes I'm going to log into my AT&T service provider account in order to be able to pay an outstanding bill. When you do that, guys, you always have to set up some sort of, you've got to register, log in, create secure credentials into your account. So that's the same thing that's going to happen here. Everybody eventually is going to be moved to this portal interface where all of your payers will eventually have to do like the rest of the industry, every other industry, everybody else. They're going to have to set up a username and password. All right. And when they get here, first time here, if they're a new user, they'll simply click here to sign up. Now, as your consultants, we're going to remind you when we start talking to you guys one-on-one about turning on the portal, setting up the portal, what do we do with the customers, how to enable them from within the CRM, and how to enable them so that they can self-enable through the portal. We're going to give you a lot of tips and a lot of to-dos and must-dos. But one of the biggest things is that when your billing contact creates a portal account, they've got to make sure and use the same email address that is their email address as they're set up on as a billing contact. So once they set up and once they log into their portal, they're not going to have to pick a site here because I'm like on 20 sites of all of our clients so far as I help you guys on with this stuff. But here's a demo site that, so I log in, here's my portal, Hertz School of Excellence, right? Here is that August 28th invoice that I just got. Oh, and they can click their invoice hyperlink right here and preview their invoice right here in the portal. Ooh, I want to print my own invoice. So they can print their own invoice and everything's fine and dandy. All right, with the legacy self-pay page, you could only pay one invoice per credit card transaction. With the new portal solution, you can actually pay all or some, multiple invoices per credit card transaction. That was also something that was very favored that we've had a lot of requests for that we've now implemented for you guys. So they're going to select whatever they want to select and they're going to pay their invoice. All right, and If they have their credit card stored on file, it'll automatically retrieve their credit card information. Here's the total amount, $48,000. Like any other online credit card system, payment system, this is, they're going to put in all their information and everything right here, the credit card information and their email address. With their email address, when they submit their self-pay online, they're going to get email right back to them saying that their credit card got processed okay. Now, while we're here in the portal, I just want to point out one other thing. For publishers, maybe some production, some other executive operational team members, the portal, we're also introducing not only from an accounts receivables side, but we're also introducing from a production side. So for your production contacts, they can log in and they can look at production notes that your internal team may have made in the job jacket. They can upload ad material directly into the job jacket. They can make, if you guys are doing a pass back process, first proof, second proof changes, etc., your customer can make a note directly into the job jacket from the client side facing portal, and inside magazine and newspaper managers and the user login under the user notifications, there are notifications you can turn on for portal activity. So if you want to turn on when a portal user pays a bill, or when a portal user uploads ad material, or they make a note, a production note for one of their upcoming ads, we can turn on different production and accounting staff members to receive those. So we have real-time communication, real-time notifications for those. So that's, again, and again, guys, please don't think that I'm trying to train you and set you up on this, because this is just a really detailed overview of what the solution is in place. We're still going to need to coordinate time with with either Dennis, Mary Kate, or me, Mark, as your consultants, that we're going to be able to come in and we're going to help you through this. At the end of the webinar, and we're not by any means done, but just to let you know, by the end of the webinar, or at the end, there's a follow-up email for the webinar that's going to have hyperlinks to all of our time trade links. So depending on who your consultant is, click on the time trade link, look at the calendar. It's going to show you all of our available appointment spots. Put yourself on our calendar, and we're going to work with you that day on as soon as we can, potentially that day or the next business day, depending on what's available on our calendars, okay? Got a digital tear sheet we did, mass invoices as PDFs. Let's look at, there's a new receipt payment page in Magazine Manager as well that I want to review with you guys. It looks a lot like the other payment page through the portal, but if you're posting a credit card payment directly in Magazine Manager or Newspaper Manager, customers' accounts receivable, and we're going to receive a payment. Now again, you've got to have that integrated credit card processing through the gateway setup, either authorize.net, Plug and Pay, or Card Connect. Those are the three gateways that we interface with. We're going to go ahead and search for our customer from which we want to receive that payment. Press the search here, all right, and then pick the customer account that I want to receive the payment for. Now remember, this customer's got, looks like they've got some open invoices. So let me move my little thing over there. All right, so maybe I want to pay all my line items. All right, so I'm going to do a payment of this outstanding. Oh, what the heck. I'm going to take a $10,000 prepayment. We're going to throw it on the customer account because I need to go shopping here. $10,000. All right. $10,000 prepayment, and if you don't remember, maybe you guys didn't know, but you can now assign prepayments to uninvoiced orders. When you apply the prepayment to a customer account, there's a whole new drop down over here on the right hand side, and this is where you can tie that prepayment to uninvoiced future contracts, so that when you use this AR aging with batch prepay apply, when these line items, these orders get invoiced, this prepayment tied to this uninvoiced order, that prepayment will come over with that order, with that invoice, and automatically allow you to apply the payment to that. So you can put in a prepayment amount and tie it to future uninvoiced insertion line items, okay? That's going to be kind of nice. If you didn't know about that, that's a big game changer, especially for those of you who take a lot of prepayments, and I know there are a lot of you out there. this is how you can actually track it in the system. So we've got a $10,000 prepayment going to the customer account tied to some of these uninvoiced items. Now we're going to go ahead and pay with card. And this is the new payment screen. Now, if you don't have this payment screen in place yet, and let's say perhaps you're not ready to switch to the new invoicing cycle and stuff like that, you can still leverage the new payment screen, and you probably do want to, because down here is where you're going to be able to put in your customer's email address so that when you submit this payment, you get a successful authorization and the money's been applied to the payment account. This advertiser, whoever you got the credit card from, is going to now get an email, a very nice email with this payment information on the email without you having to copy paste and do a separate email transaction. I know many of my clients, I've talked with you personally about this on many occasions. This is going to be a huge, a welcome feature for you, okay? So this is the new receive payment screen as well. All right. Based on what I've gone over so far, I do want to open up for questions. So let me make sure that you guys can raise your hands. I believe you can. Yes, you can raise your hands. And I'm respectfully requesting that these questions pertain only to what I've talked about today. So just please note that I will not entertain a question verbally on here that does not have to do with what I've gone over today. So in the over here in the left side, if you'd like to, go ahead and raise your hand. And as soon as I see a hand up, I'll go ahead and take your question, a live question, if you'd like. All right, I don't see any hands up yet, so I'll go ahead and move on to some other topics on here that are relevant here too. Okay, as we kind of briefly skimmed over earlier, there is a whole new help interface over here. So if you just go to the help, you can type questions. If I want to type for e-signatures, by the way, we have e-signatures now. It's rocking. It's really cool. I think we actually have plenty of time. I'm going to demonstrate that for us. But if you wanted to find any topics or anything related to e-signature, you've got the e-signature, some help articles, maybe a layout, stuff like that. Let's take a quick peek at e-signatures. This is probably, along with the digital tear sheets and the invoices as PDFs, this is another really, really nice feature we've recently added. And this e-signature service is done through Write Signature, is the service we've partnered with on that. So if you're familiar with DocuSign or other e-signature service platforms, Write Signature is very similar to those. So we have the e-signature turned on for the site. And so the way the e-signature is going to work is you're going to put together a proposal. And this is, let's see, put together the proposal. And the sales team professional can simply come in here and oh, we've got a hand up, and I'll take your hand in just a moment. But your sales team member can come in here and they can take any one of their proposals and send it out for an e-signature. So here's the one active from 2017. All right, 2-line item agreement pending. Look at this, still pending. These are e-signed, already completed. Let's just put together a quick new proposal. We're gonna do it on our Organic Delights template, and I'm just going to fly through a quick 1-line item print order. Add a line item. It's going to be a print order, advertising order for our product Organic Delights, fictitious product here. All right, and then so we're going to buy a full page inside back cover, $13,500. Looks good. I'm going to scroll on through. You guys know, or other team members know how to enter the enter an insertion order. So we'll leave Patty as our billing, Phil as our production, and we're going to go ahead and run this ad in the November issue. All right, so my contract's ready. I'm the sales rep, and I'm putting in a contract, and looks good, $13,500, which is what we agreed upon, negotiated the order to be. I review the contract here, looks good, Organic Delights. Here's all my terms. Okay, everything looks perfectly fine. I'm ready to send it to my customer for signing. Now before, your sales reps used to have to print to a PDF, open up an email, attach the PDF to an email, send it out, and blah, 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 blah. And hopefully they're gonna print it, sign it, scan it, send it back, etc. Now, your team has the ability to go to the e-sign option here, send for a customer signature, subject line. They can put your insertion order, number 947, whatever you want. From the rep email, I'm going to have it come from M. Hurd Magazine Manager, and this is going to be Mark Rep, and we're going to send it to my personal email, mhurt72@gmail.com, and this is going to be Mark Buyer. I want you to see both sides of this and how this works. So the sales rep is going to make sure that their rep's information is here. The purchaser, the ad purchaser, the rep knows what their name and email address is here. We're sending it for e-signature. The document has been sent for e-signature using Right Signature. So in the meantime, the rep is on the phone typically with the client, especially the first time, and sales rep Sally says, hey, listen, Mark, I went ahead and sent you something, our contract. Look in your inbox for an email from Mirabel Technologies. All right, so this email is going to come from Mirabel Technologies. Unless you have your own Right Signature service, then it will come up from you. But again, I've got at least 15 or 20 advertisers, publishers right now of my clients who are using this exactly this way. And that little, again, expectation setting conversation on the front end between the account manager and your buyer and say, listen, this is our service provider, their software, blah, blah, blah. Just that's us. And I promise when you click the green box in there, when you click that green, you're going to recognize our contract that we've sent to you before. So the advertiser is going to click the green box and go, oh, yeah, here's the contract. I recognize this is good. All right, so then what do? Just sign down here and your rep's going to, yeah. Put your cursor in the lower left-hand corner. Go ahead and just draw your signature right in there. And the buyer is going to be like, oh, this is great. Yeah, okay, I put in my signature. I guess now I just, to the button to the right, submit my signature. And your sales account executive is like, yep, that's right. That's all you have. And that's it, guys. You're done. Your sales team member, within just a 3-minute conversation, kind of making it a really fun experience for your advertiser, just got an electronically signed contract right back from the advertiser with one phone call. And look at that. You're getting a digital certificate that we are going to append right to the contract. So let's go back over to Magazine Manager, okay, here, and e-signature was pending, but when I go back to my proposal list, what contract was that? Contract number 947. So my contract number 947, when I look over here, active proposals 947, there it is, and my e-signature status is complete. So I get to see right inside Magazine Manager when that e-signature status is complete. And furthermore, from the sales professional side, this is real time. As soon as your buyer, your ad buyer, as soon as they sign that contract, an email is sent straight away to the sales rep that says this document has already been signed by sales buyer, is now complete. And we will append that digital certificate, that electronic fingerprint, to the contract as page number 2 of the original proposal that got sent to the customer. Okay. And this is a legal binding digital electronic signature with a checksum, what they call a checksum fingerprint kind of thing here. This is like lock, stock, sealed, legitimate, upholdable in the court of law kind of electronic signature, obligating to enter into a contractual relationship between you and your advertiser. So there it is. That's the way to do it. Now from the dashboard, if you're running your proposal report and you want to show me all my proposals who I still have pending e-signatures for. So you guys can also search for your outstanding contracts with e-signatures here, okay? So that's the e-signature thing. You want to definitely talk with one of us, your consultants, as we're on the phone with you, going over that e-signature stuff as well. Again, looking for any hands of anybody who wants to be unmuted, and we can get on this call and have a quick question that we can review. If you guys want to raise a question, there is a fee for the e-signature. I know that's that will come up, and the fee is $1 per send. That is kind of an a la carte fee that you will have to pay in addition to your normal monthly service, but you're paying for the send, not the signature. We're going to guarantee that we're going to deliver that for a signature invitation to your advertiser, but we can't guarantee they're going to sign it. So it's $1 for the service of sending and managing that e-signature for your advertiser on your behalf. Now, once the e-signature happens, though, you still have to go in and you still have to convert that proposal to contracts, just like you would if it was a manual signed and scanned and faxed back or whatever signature. You're still going to have to come back in to the proposal menu and convert this to live contracts in the system. All right. All right. So Christina Salyards, I'm about to unmute you if you're ready. Here we go. Christina, you have a question.
Yes. I have a couple questions. So
Sure.
when you send, sorry, I just got distracted. When you do this proposal and you send it with the e-sign, can you CC it to multiple people?
Through the interface only allows you to send to the one person. So what you could do in that case, Christina, is you could take that confirmation email that you received right here when you send it out. You can actually forward this to multiple people. Now the e-signature does have a dual signed execution option. Most of my publishers just require the advertiser to sign it, but some of my publishers want a duly executed contract, meaning they want the sales rep and the advertiser to sign it. There is an option in there when you send this for e-signature, you will be able to select if you want just the customer or the customer and that. But if you wanted, and I'm not sure if you can see my screen based on how you're participating right now, but if you can,
yeah.
So look at your inbox, your email inbox, and just forward this to the other people that might also want to get it as well.
Okay, and then also, when you create that document to have signed in the proposal, is there a way that we can have them to where they can add in other information? Like on our contract now, we have them enter in who we want all of the billing to go to and who we want all of the
So for that question, another example I have is, hey, when we get signed contracts, we require credit cards. So we wanted them to put in the credit card information, and that is something that a lot of people do require on that coming back. And for that, and for your specific examples, no. There's not a way to fill in other information. All they can do is draw the signature. But I actually want to have a whole side conversation with you, Christina, about the billing and the production contacts, and usually a lot of that stuff's going to happen before you send it out, and it may be a little bit different than the way you guys are currently doing it. But either Dennis, myself, or Mary Kate, when we talk to your team about this stuff, we also want to have a conversation about positioning your participants in place on the company record before you send the contract, because as you're putting the contract together, you really kind of want to ask them, who's the billing contact going to go to? Where's the bill going to go? Or who is the production contact? Who are we blasting out material reminders to? And here's the cool thing about asking them in advance. If they're reluctant to give it to you at that point, they're probably not ready to sign the contract yet. So if for my clients,
I agree.
You know what I mean? So for my clients, I do encourage them to set up all the participants as contacts on the company record first, and then pick them during the order entry process. And they're unwilling to give you those stakeholders in the agreement, then there's probably something else going on, and you're probably not going to get that thing signed quite yet. All right. So I have some other hands coming up. Christina, do you have any other questions?
That's all right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for asking. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute. Thank you so much. All right. And then we have Sylvia Milagros. I'm taking you off mute. Sylvia?
Oh, hi. This is Mila.
Oh, Mila. Okay. Hi, Mila.
Hi. You sort of answered my question already. I know you said there is a dual signature feature,
Yes.
and we do, our customer ask for countersigned contracts. But it's not the sales rep who signed the contract. It's actually the CEO of the company.
Okay.
So how can I forward the CEO of the contract so she can sign as well?
Okay. So you're looking at my screen right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're going to do is, this one's already converted. Let me see if I can find an unconverted one real quick, so that I can give that to you. So, but basically, yeah, all these are converted. Give me just a moment. I'm going to unconvert everything that was just on. What contract were we on? Hang on a second here. Sorry.
Sure.
Pending, completed, proposals. It was the 947. So if you remember, guys, in order to unlock a proposal, in order to make changes to the underlying proposal, you've got to go in and delete the corresponding converted orders. So if on your orders page, and this is a great little tool tip for everybody, I encourage everybody to show your proposal ID column so you can tell what proposal line items are shared together with all these line items. Like here's the one, 947, 443, 443. You're going to be able to see what line items belong to the common proposal ID number. On this one, I'm going to void the converted order in order to unlock the corresponding proposal. And then we're going to resend this proposal. And you're asking, we really want the CEO to sign it all, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and because that thing still has a completed status, all right, here's what you're going to do. Send for customer and rep signature, confirm the right customer information is here, and then just replace this with your COO or CEO's email. And this is how they can route it to your CEO. For rep, which would be CEO signature, customer signature. That's exactly what you want to do with that.
Got it.
Cool.
Okay.
And I think that's really gonna work with what you're looking for. What do you think?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That, normally she will sign, like, do they get it up the first time, because we want to, like, she wants to sign after the customer sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what'll have to happen then is that probably, and again, just kind of doing everything off the cuff here, we would probably create a strategy that's efficient and that hopefully we can have as many automated notifications as possible. But I would want to sit with you on a separate call and kind of work through the workflow process. But at this point, right now, if I had to give you just an off the cuff answer, I would say have the reps for the email when the client signs it, so they forward the client signature email to your CEO, and then your CEO goes in on those and follows up and signs it behind them.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mila.
Thank
you so much for your question. Bye-bye.
Sure.
All right, Jane Killen. Hey, and your audio pin was sent. You've got to put in your audio pin in order for me to unmute you. So while you're putting that in, Manny Lemus. Hey, Manny, you are next. I'm unmuting Manny. Hey, what's up, Manny?
Hello, how are you?
Good. We're talking later today, by the way.
Okay. Yes, true. So I had a question about the e-signature delivery. Is there a way that the sales rep could customize the body of the message that comes out to the customer?
It's not. It's all handled through Right Signature. It's kind of a blanket template kind of thing, and it will actually come through just like this, so everybody else can kind of see, that it is what this is. This is exactly what this is going to be like. This is not modifiable.
Okay.
Yeah. But that first phone call, though, when they sit there kind of right beside you and say, hey, here's what it is, that's what it, then once the expectation is set for your advertiser and they know what they're getting in the future, they shouldn't have to be on that call. But I think I've always found the feedback from my publishers who've started doing this very helpful when they say, that first phone call with the rep kind of online with them has been, it's just there to diffuse the situation. Any frustration can be avoided because you're right there, right available to just answer any questions or give them some comfort on the process, okay?
Yeah, no, I agree. It just needs to be a little bit of education.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have any other questions, Manny?
That's it.
All right, thank you very much.
Hey, Mark, it's
right,
Karen. I just wanted to let you know that
hey.
Somebody asked if you could demonstrate the batch billing process with regards to the new invoicing feature.
Sure thing. Yeah, I will do that. Absolutely. Jane, I still don't have a pin from you, so maybe you and I might need to touch base after the call. I can reach out. The last hand I have up is Deb Houston, and then I will go in and demonstrate the batch. It's exactly what we did before, but I'm just going to select a whole bunch more people. But we'll definitely do that next, okay? Deb, you're off of mute. Deb, this is Mark. How are you? Deb, you are, you're on integrated mic and speaker, so make sure that your microphone on your laptop or your device is not muted. All right, last call for Deb. Deb, are you there?
She doesn't have a microphone. She was asking about how to make an appointment to update to the new features.
Okay, thank you for that question, Deb. So after this webinar today, within an hour, I think, all of you are going to get a post-webinar email. And in that post-webinar email, we're going to have links for you that you can click your link of your consultant's either going to be a guy named Mark, a guy named Dennis, or a young lady named Mary Kate. If you don't know who your consultant is, just randomly select one. Get yourself on somebody's calendar. We'll look it up and we'll let the consultant know that you guys are looking to get that. But there will be an email after the webinar where you can put yourself on our calendars and get yourself off and running on this just as quick as we can get you in online. All right, so let's do one final. We have 5 minutes left. So let's do one final example. All right, sitting down, cup of coffee, just logged into Magazine Manager. Today's billing, and I'm ready to bill everything and send out everything with the new process because it's shiny and new and it works very, very well, and I'm so excited about it. So here we go. Accounting team member goes to customers, accounts receivable, create invoices. All right, and we're going to bill everything next month. Now, these little hyperlinks, this month, last month, next week, this week, when you click these are just simply like little shortcuts of setting your date range relative to today. Next month is September, last month is July, this month, August, okay? So I'm gonna bill next month. I'm billing everything in September. So if you don't bill by product, if you don't filter by product, if you don't filter by customer details, you just bill everything that's got a billing date of that month. Set your date range like most of you do, press search, and there we go. Now, right now I've got 3 people on here, okay? But you could have, 60 or 80 or 420 advertisers. However many advertisers you have, select all. So all you got to do is select all. Now, of course, for due diligence, you do want to walk down and make sure that your customer is getting billed to the right billing contact. If you knew this Hertz School of Excellence gets billed to the agency, and you see the billing contact be the local contact of the customer, you kind of want to pause what you have here, go in, correct the underlying order so that you can change the billing contact, come back and invoice. But let's assume everything looks great. You've got however many line items to invoice. We search for, based on the date range, based on whatever your search is. Here are all the orders we're going to batch bill, select them all. In the upper left-hand corner, we're going to invoice selected items. Now remember, if there are multiple pages of multiple items, just do the all invoices, invoice all items. This is going to go page by page, select every invoice. So you can make sure that you're getting everything. Then you want to select your invoice template, whatever invoice template is appropriate for this particular batch of invoices going out. Select the right template, put in your invoice date. All right, these are September invoices. So I'm putting an invoice date of September 1st. Now theoretically, we're due upon receipt. So I'm going to make sure that my invoice date is equal to my due date. So my aging starts, remember, aging starts as of the due date. If we want aging to start at the invoice date, we just set those equal to each other. Submit invoices. That's it. All the invoices are in place. Now I had a little setup. So one of these is, okay, digital. So we're not going to do digital. All right, another one's digital. Sorry. I just didn't set up my example. Let's go here. Template missing digital line item. Oh, really? Organic Delights. I'll pick another template. Sorry, guys. Let's pick photography tips. Maybe they have All right, there we go. I just picked a different template that I figured would have a digital block defined. Reference ID 14. So again, there's only 2 or 3 here, but you could have 2 or 300, 2 or 3,000 if my Save On friends are on the phone. This is an asynchronous process again that does not tie up the machine. Once you get your confirmation in the inbox notification that now, I think this was number 12 or 14. Yeah, number 14 is done. All the invoices are created. You're done. Don't forget about that batch application of payments. If you're posting prepayments to the customer account leading up to the invoicing period for those prepayments, don't forget to use your AR agent for prepay apply, because this is where, as of 9/1 and our due date 9/1, this is where you can find all accounts with a prepayment sitting on the company record, and you might have 2, 3, 4, 5 different accounts with all these prepayments. I love a select all button. I get to select everything and batch apply all those prepayments to all my invoices that are on there, and now you get to send out invoices with prepayment information on invoices. Invoices are batch created. Now we're going to batch send. Customers, accounts receivable, search for the invoices to send. I want to search for all the invoices with an invoice date of 9/1 because I'm billing September. So give me all of my invoices from 9/1 to 9/1 as an invoice date. And I don't want just my open invoices. I want all invoices, because remember, batch billing credit cards, batch applying prepayments from customer accounts. Some of these invoices are going to be closed. So I want all of my invoices. Search. Here are all of my invoices, all gazillion invoices we just created. Select all of my invoices, actions panel in the upper left-hand corner, email, going to email out all my invoices, put in my email subject, 2018 September, due diligence. It's already 4 o'clock. I don't mind going over another minute or two, but make sure, good grammar, all that good stuff. September, 2018 September advertising invoice. All right, and then from whoever email address, whatever email address you want this to come from, ar@publisher.com. All right, and then we're going to use this particular feature here. This is the old way. If you don't want to do it the old way, do that. Oh yeah, let's invoice with payments. We definitely want to send payments. We don't want to do it the old way. We want to do it the new way. We'll select our billing letter. We'll select our invoice template, or our letter template, sorry, that's got all the verbiage and everything. And oh yeah, I want to make sure and send it to my alternate emails in case my sales team members have put in extra email addresses, and send. These go out, and that's it. They're sent and they're coming in email. People are going to get these invoices and emails, and everything is done. Okay, AR Publisher, here it is. It just came in. This is a real live email that just came in from that batch send. So everyone, thank you so much for your time and attention today. We are super excited about this new digital tear sheets. We've had the pieces in place for a long time, and finally our development team has had the resources. We've had the resources and time to kind of start gluing and sticking all the logic together so that we can finally send out invoices as PDF hyperlinks and sending out those digital tear sheets. At the end of the webinar, you will be receiving an email thanking you for attending. Personally, I thank you all for attending. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you. And look out for new pop-ups coming up and new inbox notifications. We've got some other exciting things coming out later this year. But I'll tell you, for the rest of this year, we're primarily restructuring everything on a new platform so that we can do project and product releases a lot quicker. So that's why we haven't had a whole lot of brand new stuff coming out here toward the end of the year, and we won't plan on it because we're getting the infrastructure and the framework perfect so we can, 2019, we can just start flying out some really nice features out the door really quick, really efficiently. So again, thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.